What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I know it's been a couple weeks since an update. I've kind of been all over the place and I haven't had a lot of car stuff going on until the last few days. So thanks for hanging in there. I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent this year. We'll see how that goes. I do have a couple updates for all of y'all though. However, there's nothing to update you on the Lotus. I'm sorry about that. I know that we were back to back with different things that we were doing there for a while, but I'm waiting on a couple things from a really cool custom CNC shop in Oklahoma City. They're making me some neat CNC stitched panels, and they're also ordering all of the Alcantara and stuff like that for that project. So I don't have an update on it really, but we can go ahead and take a look just to show y'all kind of where we're at with the project. So it is a bit dusty right now. It's been over here in my buddy's shop for several weeks now. But as we can see, there's really, like I said, there's not any major updates at all. The interior is still totally taken apart. We do have the glove box fully operational. We still need to do some cleanup and touch-up work, but we have some really strong neodymium magnets that sit right behind this faceplate that we made. And so it's such a strong, secure, really snug hold. You're not gonna have to worry about it coming apart at all. We also have the new doubled-in radio wired up. I need to get a new battery for the car. The little race battery from Brell that I bought finally crapped out after about 2 years of being drained and then charged, then drained, then charged, probably 100 times. And so I can't show that to y'all right now. But as you can see, the interior is in about the same shape, although it's ready to finally get wrapped up, hopefully here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And if you've been following me on Instagram, you'd know that the Thule Motion Alpine roof box that we had on the GLA 45 is now off of the car. It's a permanent resident on my buddy's Subaru Crosstrek now. We took his Crosstrek to the Sipapu Ski Resort in New Mexico a couple weeks ago. I do all of their winter photography for their snow sports and some of their marketing stuff, and I also love to snowboard, and so we took it up there for a few days, and Blake loved the way that it looked on top of his Crosstrek. And since I think we're going to be selling the Mercedes here pretty soon, I thought it would be a good opportunity for it to go to a good home to somebody that really wanted it. Now, I know I've only had the Mercedes for about 1.5 years now, and it's actually been a really good car, despite the few little issues that we've had with it, like the ABS wheel sensor. It's been a really good ownership process. Hopefully before I get rid of it, I can do maybe not a review, but kind of like an ownership overview just for anybody that might be thinking about getting one of these for yourself. It's been a fun car. It's lived up to just about all of my expectations. However, this last weekend, I did fly to Mississippi to pick up a new vehicle. I drove it back to Texas, spending a lot of time on back roads and things like that. And I think it's going to replace the Mercedes as my daily. It's a totally different car, but it's quite a bit more useful to me. A lot of you are not going to be on board with this decision. The Mercedes is great, and the budget AMG has really lived up to its name. It's fast and it's fun. It's really pretty, and I just love the car as a daily, but it really doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't really let me produce a whole bunch of content because I'm not trying to bring the value down with a bunch of mods or race it or run it hard or lower its reliability. So it's basically stock, and it hasn't really done anything for me for the channel, and it has been a little bit more to maintain this last 1.5 years than I originally anticipated it to be. It hasn't been astronomical, but it still is costing me a little bit more to earn than I personally want to spend on a daily. So to give you an idea about my thought process, I figured if I could just go ahead and sell the Mercedes, find something that costs me about half the money every single month to own, or in the long run just overall costs me about half the money to own, that I could use all of that money saved to really reinvest in some of my other car goals to get something down the road that's much cooler than the Mercedes is. I've never had a problem with driving a daily that is a little bit older. I want something that's kind of unique, kind of out of the ordinary, but that's really always been my only kind of goal for my daily, is I just want something that not everybody else has, that you see on the street all of the time. And the new car definitely is not nearly as unique as the GLA 45. You see a lot more of them rolling around, but the example that I found, I think, is unique in its own way, and I'm really excited to own it. And while this might not be everybody's cup of tea, it is something that's gonna let me sleep in the back of it, and I wanted something that wasn't a pickup truck or a van. I wanted something a little bit cooler, even if it meant that it was losing a little bit of the practicality. Okay, and so we've been rambling on long enough, so let's go ahead and just go take a look at it, and y'all can decide for yourselves what you think. Boom, surprise. This is my new to me 2006 H2 Hummer. I've always wanted one of these ever since I was a little kid, and like I said, it's gonna make a lot of y'all really, really mad. I flew all the way to Mississippi. Actually, I flew to New Orleans, then drove another 2 hours into Mississippi to pick this one up. I love the color. Naturally, at first, I did really want a red one to match the other cars. However, this one kind of caught my attention when I saw it listing, and it's also the limited edition, which is basically an appearance package. You get these rockers that are body matched, which look a lot better than the plastic black ones. The rockers are also notched where the steps are, so they were able to raise the steps up a few inches and get those away from the ground. You also had a set of lights on the light bar, some carbon fiber accents. It's supposed to have a grill guard that came with the limited edition model. That's obviously not there. I drove it about 1,500 miles back to Texas, doing a lot of detours, some kind of overland camping. I spent about 5 days doing that, and it performed really well. It's definitely not perfect. It needs quite a bit of paint work here and there. It needs some leaks fixed. It needs some clear coat fixed. It needs some dents fixed. But honestly, it's really solid. I think it has really good bones. I drove it back from Mississippi without any problems at all. The fuel mileage isn't even nearly as bad as everybody rants and complains about. This video is a little bit rushed right now because I actually am taking it here in a minute to drop it off at my buddy's shop. There's a couple pretty bad oil leaks that it has right now that really need to get fixed quickly. It's something I really don't want to mess with myself, not because I don't have the tools or the know-how, but it's just something I really don't want to mess with, and I don't necessarily have just a whole bunch of time right now to be pulling the transmission back and replacing the rear main seal, for example. So it does have a couple leaks, and I'm about to take it and get those fixed. So I'm not going to do a full overview or show y'all every part of the truck right now, but I did want to take a minute just to kind of drop this bombshell that I'm trading that beautiful AMG, or that I'm selling that beautiful AMG for this old hated pickup truck. So I know the video was a little bit rushed, but thank you for hanging on. Hopefully in the next video we have a major update on the Lotus and the Lotus interior. We're about a month or two behind schedule at this point, but everything is really falling together, and the Lotus interior should be hopefully done and finished by March if everything goes as planned. I'm getting to a point now to where I don't care what it costs. I just want my car back on the road so I can enjoy some of that awesome spring weather and finally get behind the wheel of it. It's been months and months now since we started this project, and it's so close to being at the end that I can just taste it. I'm so ready to be back in that car. So as always, I appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you next time.